You ready? You ready to go? We have to ladies. It's a ladies' choice live stream. Ladies. It's a ladies' choice live stream. Girls. Ladies' choice. Come on, raise your voice. Ladies' choice. It's a ladies' choice live stream. I am ridiculous, y'all. Welcome to the Ladies' Choice live stream. I know there are folks who are already here. This is live. I am so excited. This is one of my favorite bits of content I get to do this year or like through Eurovision seasons, because it's like I get to not talk to just me and get to connect with other folks and then bring these conversations to you. So rehearsals have kicked off. I am not alone. But I just have to say, if you're hopping into this on the replay, hey, welcome. If you've never been here before, this is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. We're in the thick of it. We're in the thick of it. We're in the thick of it. Okay? The thick of it. So please like this video and subscribe. I'm not alone. And the first person I'm going to bring to the stage is a familiar face if you have been following me for a while. Lili, introduce yourself to the people. Tell the folks where they can find you.
Hi, I am Lili Loves Stuff. I am that name on many a place. And I'm also part of the EurovisionFAM, so EurovisionFAM.com and the EurovisionFAM YouTube channel. So yeah, that's where you can find me, I guess.
I'm so happy that you were able to join. And also from the EurovisionFAM team, it's Brooke in the building again. So yeah, where can folks find you? Because it's not just EurovisionFAM.com.
No, thank you for having me back, Alicia. And it's you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Blue Sky. Helping friendly in most places. Otherwise, if you find the EurovisionFAM team, you'll find a link back to me at some point. So you can always find me there.
I love it. And then one of my long-standing panelists from the first time I launched this, all the way from Norway. You are back and gracing us with your presence. Introduce yourself. Tell folks where they can find you online.
This is my favorite thing to do. Eurovision related every single year. I'm Viv. You can find me over at ESCXtra. I'm from Norway and a little bit from Iceland. Yeah.
I love it. And we've got folks coming from all over. This is serious because, rehearsals have begun. So let me just say, I'm not really doing like rehearsal content per se, because I'm like, what do you want me to say about a photo? Okay. It's just, that's just me. Like, what do you really want me to say? Now, we can talk about the styling, and guess what, y'all? We will talk about the styling. So we're going to let the rehearsals happen today. And then I think maybe like Tuesday, I'll rejoin y'all and we're going to break down the clothes. Okay. We're going to break down the clothes because I love talking about the clothes. Okay. But yeah, what are y'all thinking? Just turning it over to the panel. Have y'all seen some of the photos? What are the things that were kind of like, ooh, wow, this is a risk? Or maybe things where you're like, oh, okay, this is looking like what we're familiar with. The mic is hot and ready.
I haven't seen anything from today yet, but looking over yesterday, I really like the styling that they have Ziffer Blatten. The colors are so beautiful together. And there's a lot of like playfulness with the fabric choices and like the styling and having kind of like a skirt piece, the pants set, some embroidery. It's really pretty.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That was the standout for me too, was just Ziffer Blatts. Just their palette really pops and it works for me. And my magpie eye is just drawn to those like jewel tones. And I'm like, oh, show me some more. That's the one that's been the standout styling wise for me.
I've been so busy this week, so I haven't had time to look at anything. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the pictures.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting. I think I got some of the pictures before I was even like ready to sit down and consume. And I also like maybe I fully have bubbled this year where I was like thinking, oh, I don't even know if we're gonna get photos. So when I saw pictures begin to appear, I was like, "Oh, we're getting pictures. Oh, thank you. How nice of you. How kind to give us these photos." I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Okay. But we are here to talk about the genres. We're going to cover all of the songs. Now, if y'all want to be mad about a category, you can blame me. I was the one who grouped these. And so I'm going to go over in general all of the categories that we're going to have. I've got my pop girlies. So that's number one. Then we got the dudes. And at first I was going to do like the boy bops, but some of them are a little bit more fusion. And so I was just like, fine, y'all can just be the dudes. And I'm okay with it being that. Then we've got Rockaway with an asterisk because I know some of y'all love to get into these subgenres. It don't matter here. When you hop on Spotify and everything, they're not putting the subgenres. They're going like alternative with a whole bunch of stuff. Some of the stuff I'm like, I have to tell people like alternative is my favorite genre when really it's just electronic music, but umbrella categories. Then we've got our power ballads. Then we've got the indie darlings, which I'm going to tell you, I think I'm going to have like my cleansing of Eurovision is going to be like a full blown early 2000s, like indie summer. Like I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back. I think that's where I'm going to be at. Then we have the ethnic darlings. And then we're going to close it out with it's fun. It's party. Okay. So that's how we're going to break the things down. That's what we're going to do. And so to kick off, I've got the pop girlies. And that is Denmark, Finland, Germany, Ireland, Luxembourg, Malta, Spain, and the UK. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing a nice big category. So that's the first one we're going to break down. And so my first question for the panel is, who is your favorite in this group? Of the pop girlies, who's rising to the top for you? Okay, go on, Viv.
Spain for me. It's. I think I'm the one who's most surprised by this. It's very much not my genre at all. And at the start, when I first heard it, I was like, nah, not my thing. And then I listened through all the songs and I was like, yeah, sort of like mid-table somewhere. And then last weekend, we had a complete listen through all the songs and ranking them. And all of a sudden I realized Spain's in sixth. So like, I had no idea how this happened. And it's a shock.
Okay.
Okay, I think I've got another, for me, shock, which is that Germany has risen the ranks to me where it's actually hit my top 3, where I was just like, oh, I'm kind of feeling this. It wasn't my number one, I think, even during the national final. And then I was kind of concerned, right? Like her voice, was it going to be okay live? Then finding out like she had bronchitis during that. And I was like, cool. So maybe that like I can give her some grace. This might sound better. And she's been protecting her voice with the different pre-parties. From what I've seen of her live, if she's singing it well, if she's at full 100%, that it really works for me. So I'm super excited. And honestly, their album that just dropped a few weeks ago, I've been playing that.
Everyone is saying it's good.
So
everyone's saying the album is great.
That's really pushed it up my list too. The fact that like, I just want to keep bringing in their music. So that's been really exciting.
I'm torn between two. I'm going to go though with Malta. Just Mariana has been so much fun. And that song, it's just addictive. It's broken out of the Eurovision containment unit. I'm starting to see more normies find it and love it as well. The song itself is very camp. It's very tongue in cheek. And then once you get that live performance we saw in Malta, again, it's maintaining that like campy tongue-in-cheek playfulness. And I find myself singing it constantly.
Okay. Well, I've got some people in the chat saying Germany and Luxembourg. The rest are meh. So Rita says Spain next after Malta as faves. Nil Era is agreeing with Brooke. I'm with Germany as well. Stevan says Malta clears. This is probably my favorite category this year, actually. A lot of the songs that I just feel like I'm going to listen to after the fact are in this category. Because to me, when I sat down and I said, who's my favorite, I couldn't really pick. I was like, I could say, Malta in some ways. I could say Finland. I could say Germany because Germany's my one. If it's delivered well, I'm in it. Like I'm here for it. But, I'm like, I think that there actually is a lot of good in the mix. And then shout out to the UK because I will just say this song is not my genre. I'm not listening to it in the car. Okay. But Verna's not here today. And I just want to let y'all know Verna's number one, Verna is my mom. Verna's number one out of this group is easily Spain. But then her number two is probably the UK. She loves the song, and I just think this is going to be delivered well. So, okay, we've rounded it out talking about the pop girlies. Okay, we've done that. Now let's shift on over and talk about the dudes. Okay, the dudes. I've just put the dudes all together, and so what I'm categorizing as the dudes is Azerbaijan, Belgium, Croatia, Cyprus, Czechia, the Netherlands, Norway, and then San Marino. Okay, so I'm shifting to the dudes because I'm kind of like, let's do pop girlies, the dudes, and then we'll get to like who do we think will do best. Can we agree on that? Okay, so that's what I'm going with the dudes. Let's shout out our favorites first from the bunch of the dudes. Who wants to go first?
Well, my number one is in this bunch.
Okay, let's go.
The whole year. So my favorite this year is Czechia. So without a doubt.
I love it. And people were wondering, like, Czechia was kind of climbing back up into the odds. I think after we get some photos and the styling, I think Czechia might climb maybe like 2 more spots up, potentially. So I'm with you on that. Okay, who's a other group of favorites from the dudes?
My favorite from this group is the Netherlands. Claudia has that from the first time I saw it, it took me by the heart. I was in tears watching the video, and that song has just stuck with me. So that's easily, it's in my top 5. It's not my top of the year, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay. Lili.
I have to go with Czechia again in this category. I love Adonis's voice. Like, I can't get over it. Like, just the tone of his voice hits me every single time, and I have to give it to him for that.
Yeah. For me, out of this bucket, is difficult because I'm really between Czechia and the Netherlands. I think for me, like, easily it's between Czechia and the Netherlands. And I think both are going to deliver on the stage, but I will give the edge to Adonis. I think Adonis is in charge of the dudes this year. That personally, I think Adonis is clearing the dudes. And apparently, even with the even without the Herman Munster boots, Adonis is the tallest. So Adonis is literally going to be clearing them and then in charge and corralling them all together. And some people are asking me, like, where's Austria? If you were here at the beginning, we're going to get to Austria in our power ballads section. Okay. In our power ballad section. Okay. So we've talked about the pop girlies. We've talked about the dudes. And we've said who our favorite in the group is. But of the pop girlies and of the dudes, who do we think is going to do the best out of these countries at Eurovision? And so I've combined. So we could maybe shout out both. I might let us do that. So who do we think is going to do the best at Eurovision out of this group?
For me, I've got Finland. As I don't know. I'm looking at the whole list together now, and I'm like, wait, am I still feeling that? But that was in my notes. I kind of had Finland topping, doing the best of the pop girlies. And
okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I have any of those countries necessarily beating it in the results. So that would be my best.
Okay, we got some folks agreeing with you. Okay, Viv, what do you think?
Well, I think Finland is going to do really, really well. It's as not my genre as you can possibly get. So it's in my bottom 5. But I can totally see why people like it. And I think it's going to do really well. But if we're looking at the girls and the dudes all put together, I actually think Czechia is going to do really well as well.
Okay.
Maybe a bit of wishful thinking here, but that's the song, in addition to Sweden, that my students keep asking me to play for them again and again and again. So
Okay.
fingers crossed. But I think
Well-
Finland. Yeah.
Well, could I also just note though with Czechia, when I did my reaction, I was actually like, I could see this getting jury points. And I think maybe when we've had conversations, I might have dropped a little bit of that talking point. But I have long held that I do think if executed well, which I do believe that it will be, I could see this being kind of like a, remember, Last Dance. Oh, and everyone was trying to tell me that because the whole season I was saying, oh, I think this is going to be top 10. And then people were like, oh, did it do as well as you thought? I was like, I never said it was going to win. I said it was going to come top 10. And it did. And I do think Czechia, what they're going to ultimately give us is going to be top 10 worthy. Okay, Lili, what do you think? Out of this group, who do you think is going to do the best at Eurovision?
Honestly, I'm on the same board as everyone else. I feel like it's between Finland and Czechia. And I'm going to
Okay.
actually give the edge to Czechia, I think, in this case. Just
Okay.
because there's a lot of stuff that's going to divide that televote. So I feel like Czechia is going to do the best with the juries out of who we've talked about so far.
Okay. So let's see what other folks have. So Eris says, you ready for Cyprus's staging? Cyprus will slay. We'll see. Because it's hard when the PR is doing maybe too much with the hype train. Because we've been let down before where it was like, okay, these were just words. You said we were going to be hyped and now we're looking at it and it's like, oh, this is it. So sometimes, okay.
I mean,
Go
my
on.
hesitation with Cyprus is just I cannot recall the song. When it's over, I don't know the melody. I don't remember it at all. And it's like if the song's not sticking with me and I've listened to these multiple times through, I just can't. Like that could just be a me thing. But again, if I struggle to remember the melody, I feel like other people aren't going to be able to remember it either.
I've told folks in the past, I'm like, sometimes when we have to do the backflips to make a case for something, then it's like you're doing too much. And then when we see the results, it was like, oh, I was really trying too hard to make that work. And sometimes when it is just sort of your first initial reaction to a song, like sometimes we should go with that. Philip says, can you guys please stop giving me hope with this Czechia praise? No. Come on. No, come on. And then Mate says, I'm
One of
just
my
ready for
friends,
Cyprus to be a
is
boring
actually saying
staging.
that,
Oh, go on. Sorry.
yeah, no, one of my friends is saying that he can see Czechia finishing like second or third with both the juries and the televote. And perhaps actually, what happens when you score well with both the juries and the televote?
Okay. So we're just gonna continue to give Philip hope. We're gonna keep the hope alive.
I mean, you know what I've been saying for years about when it comes to Czechia with Eurovision. So, like, I'm convinced it's going to happen by 2030 that they're going to get that victory. So, and like consistently, they're on my top anyway. So, yeah.
Okay, well, let's pivot away from the pop girlies and the dudes and go to my rockaway category. So the rockaway category, I'm just going to say this. I do have Ukraine in the rockaway category and in the indie darling category. So that one's right after this one. So we'll go to the indie darling section. And then the other piece, Lithuania, is in both buckets too. But I did want to just do the rockaway category really for the people at home. So then you can talk to us about Armenia, because the category that the way I've grouped the rockaway category is Armenia, Lithuania, and Ukraine. So let's just go around. Who is our favorite in the grouping? For me, it's easy. It's Lithuania. Okay, so Viv agrees with me. Okay, come on,
I
Lily. Who do
it's
you think?
Ukraine for me. I absolutely
Okay.
adore this song. It's like it's prog rocky, it's math rocky. We don't get either of those very often at
Hmm.
Eurovision. And it's probably the song I listened to the most. Also, their album dropped this week. It's also a good album.
Okay, come
I'm with
on.
Lily. Yeah, I'm with Lily with Ukraine. Lithuania was higher in my ranking for most of the season, and then Ukraine has fought back. Like they dropped out of my top 10. Now they're back up in like my top. They might be in my top 5 right now. So that's been a great. Yeah, I don't know. I get emotional about that song too. Like that's just when it really hits and it's beautiful and it's listening to it's just a whole experience when you just kind of sit in headphones and give it over. So I'm
Yeah.
captivated by that song.
Okay, so in this smaller category, who do you think will do the best at Eurovision?
Ukraine. Like I don't
Ukraine.
have to. Ukraine's gonna take that. Like I
Okay.
love Lithuania to pieces. It's like my third favorite song this year, but like it's just not. Ukraine is a televote powerhouse, so I worry for Lithuania.
Okay. And then I do have so Denny is asking, is this the first time maybe Ukraine doesn't qualify? What do you all think? What do you all think?
I laughed for a reason. No, no.
Okay, I am Stevan says, I cannot with Ukraine and Armenia. Sorry. Dorothy says Armenia needs to do more in the chorus. Okay. Well, we did the Rockaway category. I wanted to do that. Let me ask this question though. In this group, and maybe the last question is giving it, who do we think is being underestimated in our Rockaway category?
I mean, there's only 3 songs here.
Yeah, is anyone being underestimated?
Maybe Lithuania.
I think Lithuania is being underestimated because I think a lot of people think it's not making it, and I think it's making it
Yeah.
personally.
I hope you're right. When I first heard it, I was like, this is probably going to be my favorite this year. It has sort of dropped a bit on my list. It's still in my top 10, possibly still in my top 5. I'm not entirely sure. But I think that to me, it's the only, it's the most traditional rock song.
Okay.
It's out of these 3, it's the song that most rock people are gonna go for, I think. So when I hear people saying it's not gonna qualify, no. I think well, in the Euroverse, it's being a lot of people are just ignoring it.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. Well, let's shift into the indie darling category because our indie darling category does include Lithuania and Ukraine, but it also includes Switzerland, it includes Portugal, and I have included Italy in this category as well, the indie darlings. So let's go around. Who's our favorite in the group of the indie darlings?
But you guys already know that mine is Italy. I don't have to. You don't have to ask the question. Mine is Italy. I love Lucio. That's another where, even before Sanremo, I went and listened to a lot of the different artists, back catalogs, and Lucio's is the one that had grabbed me, and I had been listening to. And then the song came up. He's a captivating performer. It's a beautiful song. I'm not necessarily certain that it's going to translate to the Eurovision stage. I don't know if they're going to pull in enough storytelling elements to really help it translate, but the song itself is by far my favorite of the year. It's just a beautiful song. So that's 100%. I love so many songs in this category. This is my category, but also this is, Italy is just it for me this year. And I'm just so delighted that Lucio is who they were able to send.
Well, Ukraine's my favorite in this category, but I want to give a lot of love to Portugal. There's something about that song. Like just the way that it's put together is so beautiful. It touches your heart. It feels warm. And it does what Portugal does so well at Eurovision, which is just give you a song that's like all encompassing almost. And it's atmospheric and it's just like it transports you. And I think it's just wonderful for that reason.
Okay, Viv, who's your favorite from this group?
I think it is Lithuania still. I also like Italy. I don't love it, which is refreshing, because I almost always do. Love the video. It's like every time I watch the video, I go like, "Oh, this is great," and then when I just listen to it, it's good. But no, Lithuania is still my favorite.
So I'm actually in sort of a different category, and I think the chat is kind of with me. If I'm going off studio cuts, Switzerland's actually probably my favorite from the group. I like listening to it. I think Zoe's voice is just, there's a delicateness about it that I love. Viv?
Yeah, I just have to admit I didn't actually see that Switzerland is there. Switzerland is my
Oh,
number 2 this year. I love it, love it, love it, love it.
oh, yay. Yay.
Yeah,
Okay. So we agree. And I think the chat's with us.
yeah.
I am preparing myself fully for an Ojardin moment. Like I'm preparing myself because I think that we should. Okay. I think that we should prepare ourselves because I do live in the world of realistic, but that doesn't mean I have to like
Don't.
it.
No,
No.
honestly, if we get another Ojardin moment, that's not fair because Voyage is gorgeous. It's
So
again, it's so
nice.
much. It honestly does make you think of Ojardin to a certain extent as well, where they both have this warmth to them that just like wrapped you up and held you in their arms, and it's like sonically they're not the same, but they give me the same kind of feeling.
Yeah, I don't think that this is something the televote is gonna circle around. And for folks who are wondering, our next categories are power ballads, ethnic darlings, and it's fun party, because some people did go in the chat like, well, where's Sweden in there? It's fun party to just be, with the dudes. And guess what? Adonis is in charge of the dudes this year. So, Kai gets to chill in the it's fun, it's party category. But yeah, I do think what Switzerland is doing is beautiful. But in the like indie darlings category, who do y'all think is gonna do the best ultimate? Did we say who's gonna do the best? No, because we did it for rock. So yeah, who do we think is gonna do the best of the indie darlings? I think I'm only struggling with Ukraine because I'm wondering our jury's gonna serve it. I don't actually think juries are gonna serve Ukraine this year. But I don't know.
I mean, for me, I would give it like if I was a juror and I was handing out points, I think I would give points to Ukraine because composition wise, it's doing interesting stuff.
Yes.
It's very jazz in a certain way. Like the key changes up, the key, the what's it called? Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the word meter. It changes so often in that song and like plays around with the composition in a way that's really interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, the juries don't always like to go for an interesting composition. I think they're more geared towards entertainment value. So I don't even know.
I don't know, Viv, Brooke, what do y'all think? Who do you think does the best out of the indie darlings?
I have Ukraine as doing the best, but a big part of that is knowing that there's going to be good televote from the diaspora regardless. Like I think that helps to elevate it, and I think it's a great song that can pull in people who aren't a part of that voting block anyway. So I think that there is some room there, and it is sung beautifully, so it's possible it could get that bit of jury love. And I think we could be maybe underestimating how well Switzerland can do in this, because I think the jury should be phenomenal for her. Her voice is gorgeous and the song is moving. It's my favorite ballad that we got this year. So I'm hopeful to see that do really well as well. So
Okay, Viv.
Uh, I think I'm going to have to go with Ukraine. I wish I could say Switzerland, and I'm hoping for Switzerland. But realistically, Ukraine's going to get a whole lot of televotes. And I think they're going to get enough jury votes to win this group.
Yeah, that's probably right. We've got I'm Stevan saying Ukraine still gets 150 plus televote points easily. Ukraine does the best even with a jury. Nil point. Okay, well, let's move on to our power ballad category. Yes, we're going to talk about the power ballads. So in this category, I've placed Austria, France, Georgia, Greece, Israel, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia in this category, our power ballads. So, who's your favorite out of the group? I'm going to kick it off with Lili.
Greece. I think it's the one of these that I'm drawn to the most and I find myself listening to the most. I think it's beautifully sung. Yeah, I'm going to go with Greece on this one. I'm scared for the stage, but studio cut, it's Greece.
Okay, Brooke, who's your favorite out of the group? Power ballad.
for me, out of this group, it's Montenegro, and Greece is right there, right behind it. I think I've got them in order. I love Nina's voice. Her voice captivates me, and she tells me a story, and I'm just like, I want to sit at her feet and be like, no, keep going. So I don't know. I love her, and that really sells it for me. Out of this group, that's my top.
Okay, Viv.
I'm struggling a bit with this group. It's between Serbia and Slovenia for me.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with Serbia today. Ask me tomorrow, and I might say Slovenia. It's like Slovenia, no, Serbia. It's nothing that we haven't heard before. It's very traditional and within its genre, but I liked that kind of music.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you, Verna, aka my mother, her favorite from this group is Slovenia. It's Slovenia. Unsurprising to me. Unsurprising to me. But something that I think I've been flagging for folks that I was like, I think Slovenia's song could touch some people and could connect with people. But my mom did say, she was like, but does Europe want to be sad? Which I was like, that's exactly what I said. You've learned from the master. For me, out of this group, it's really hard because I kind of have like France and Greece proverbially like tied. So I think ultimately with the performance next to it, I could end up going with France. But I'm having faith that Greece is going to do this tastefully. Okay, so out of the power ballads, who do we think is going to do the best at Eurovision? Which this is probably clear. But yeah, I'm just going to say, who do folks, are we all going to say it together? Who we think is going to do the best out of the group? But actually,
Austria.
I disagree.
I think France.
I think France.
I think
France.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, look, Austria is number 2 in the betting odds still. I haven't been on Twitter during this conversation. I don't know. Well, no, Semi 2 hasn't gone yet. So we'll get pictures from the outfit. The reason why I am just as a longtime Eurovision fan who loves classical music, I don't have to give this precursor every time, like, who loves it. I just have been, I don't want to say let down, but I just am so used to seeing anything kind of opera adjacent not do that well in recent years. Like, it's just, and by recent, I'm saying the last 10, 15, not do that well in particular, but Austria might be giving some expectancy because, the Vienna Opera is known. So maybe maybe the expectancy of it, but what do y'all think?
Oh man, do you want my very controversial hot take that I
Go
have had?
on.
I think Austria might not qualify, and people are going to be upset. I think that of all the favorites, Austria is the one I look at and go, I think you might not qualify on, just because his voice is so high, and your average person at home hears a man with a high pitched voice and giggles. I think that that's going to be the biggest drawback for Austria. Also, like that's my controversial statement on that one. It's just like I feel like
Okay.
I don't trust the public.
I'm with you on that. I'm not certain in a televote only semi that it does. I don't know. That's been my one
Ooh.
thing of like, could that be the surprise NQ for me this year? And I don't necessarily want that. I want to see JJ qualify. I think the voice is beautiful. But the
Yeah.
composition is not for me. I don't listen to the song.
Oh,
It's not on my playlist. It's one I was so excited for it and I was like, this could, and it just
see,
isn't there for
this is
me.
why I have to keep giving the things, y'all, because I know that I like that. Like, look, y'all, I'm literally walking down the aisle to a Sarah Brightman song. Okay, let me just say
I
that
love Sarah Brightman.
I am literally walking down the aisle to a Sarah Brightman song. So I'm literally having like one of my friends sing an operatic song to start off my way. So like you should just know I am deep in the force that is like just classical contemporary music and opera. Okay, Viv, what do you think of these hot takes?
I kind of hope they're right.
Ooh,
Uh, no, but seriously, this is bottom half at least for me, maybe even bottom 10, and which is also almost as surprising as Spain being up there for me, because this is the kind of song that I should
okay.
like, but it no, it does nothing for me. It's I find it annoying, and I don't
Oh,
know why. It's probably it's probably he is a wonderful singer. I just don't I just can't with the tone of his voice.
okay. Um,
So yeah, but I'm quite sure it's going to qualify, and I think it's going to do super well. But I wish you're right.
okay, so I will say,
I
I
love
I
your
I am
face.
no, I'm still so just okay. Look, everybody is allowed to have their own opinions. Okay, we're not seeing any rehearsals, so to be honest, I think the delusion can last this week. Once we get maybe clips and seeing some of the folks in motion, then we will all have to accept reality. Okay, myself included, with certain things. I just will say in recent weeks, because at first I was just like, well, I think Austria is like winning the jury. Like, I totally think so. But in recent weeks, I have gone like, well, it's possible, I guess, for some juries that they're kind of like, oh, this is maybe too much for them. And then they go with like a France, Switzerland. I do think the Netherlands is still up there for the juries. I think if Greece actually stages impeccably, which they might not, but I think if they actually stage impeccably, I do think Greece has a shot. I thought the power ballads was going to be our like boring category, but the power ballads is bringing out the piping hot tea. So let me just say this. Okay, so out of the power ballads, which is Austria, France, Georgia, Greece, Israel, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia, who do we think is being underestimated the most? And maybe not personal opinion, but what we think just in the space. Austria can't count because Austria is way too high in the odds. France low key can't count because technically it is still high. But I will say asterisk by France because I think in the Eurovision bubble, people are just saying, oh, it's boring. I don't connect with it. I don't like it. But of the power ballads, yeah, what do you think is being underestimated the most? And maybe I shouldn't add any qualifiers to it. Like maybe you could say what's being underestimated the most in the fandom, what's being underestimated the most in the odds. Brooke, you're nodding. Hop in.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this, and I think, and it's part of it's the bubble, right? So it's who we talk to, it's who we're connected with, it's where we're seeing it. And so on that, with your asterisks, that's where I feel like France is being underestimated. I think it's a beautiful song. She's got an amazing voice. She can perform. She's got nerves of steel to have performed that at that halftime, elevated, watching her little fingers come out and grip the thing that was holding her up after she finished singing. I was just like, that you got through that. That's amazing. And I think that that's a fair comment you just highlight, that, France is held to a different standard in the community. There's a few countries that are that way. And I do think that she does have a really, good shot of just coming out and giving us 3 minutes that can really wow us, because it is an emotional song. It's a personal song. And I think that when that connection hits, it could be there. Otherwise, for me, I think the song that I am probably underestimating the most is Slovenia, because the opposite of Viv, I don't connect to that song at all. It repels me. I find it personally like borderline offensive, to where I'm just like, this is, it's so manipulative. It's so trying to pull at my heartstrings that I am just shutting the door. I'm just like, how dare you try to manipulate me? I see this coming. And so
I've not heard someone say that.
That's how I feel about it. And that's what I'm like, I think it's going to qualify. And I think it'll probably do much better than I'd like it to. So that's, for me, that's the one I'm underestimating. And it's because I do not like it at all. But Lily and I have talked about this at length. I have very strong, very negative feelings toward this, and I'm going to stop talking.
Oh, well, let me see. Hold on. Let me hop into these comments real quick. So Anna says Greece is underestimated. Rita, also Greece seems to be only remembered and appreciated for its bops and not ballads, but Greek ballads are beautiful and should be appreciated more. Let me see. Inwino Veritas, Slovenia is definitely faring better than the bubble would have you believe. I think I've been consistent on this. Magnus says France is the manipulator, not Slovenia. Interesting take, considering the fact that Luan has already done a song Maman about, and this is sort of phase 2. So I'd actually argue no, because I think that this was a song she would have composed even if it wasn't for Eurovision, whereas Clement definitely composed this for Eurovision. But alas. Trildy, France is being overestimated, if anything. And then, Juarez says, I'm preparing myself for Slovenia to be the always on the run of 20. Let me say this. I've been consistent about this. I was like, y'all don't want this song to make it to the grand final. Because I was like, Slovenia, if it makes it to the grand final, it's getting jury points. I'm like, just know it's gonna get some, I believe. Okay, hopping out of the comments, Viv, who do you think is being underestimated in the power ballads category?
Greece. Everyone I talk to are going like, no, Greece is not going to do anything. It's boring. Nothing happens for 3 minutes. And even though there are, well, at least in my opinion, Greece have had better ballads before that haven't done as well as I think they should have. But I mean, there is no way this isn't qualifying. And I think people are underestimating it pretty badly.
Okay. Lily, who do you think is being underestimated in the power ballads grouping?
I'm going to go with Slovenia on this one. I think that a lot of people are going to connect with that one. It's in a semi where I don't think there's any other really male ballads in semi one, are there? So it's going to stand out. And you have people who tune into Eurovision and want a ballad. Even until the only semi, I can see it qualifying. I know a lot of people kind of think it's DOA, but I can, and it touches Verna as well. So, can connect with people. I think that Slovenia has a chance of qualifying, and with the fandom in the bubble, they just like, oh no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to one of my favorite categories that, interestingly enough, in a year of so much native language, I only put three things in the category, and that is our ethnic darlings, our ethnic darlings. So of this group, who is your favorite? So I think Lily, Brooke, and I should probably go at the same time, right? Okay, one, two, three. Albania.
Albania. Like,
Right? Like, so we
yeah.
agree. Okay. Viv, okay, now I want to know, ethnic darlings, who is your favorite?
Well, it is between Albania and Latvia, depending on the day.
Okay.
I really, really like both of them a lot. They both came to Oslo for the Nordic Eurovision party,
Mhm.
and they both just blew the audience out of the water. And I love both the songs. But I guess today I would agree with the rest of you and say Albania.
Okay. Okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
agree with us. Over here, it's a conversation. We don't have to agree. Let me just say this. This is my favorite category. I like, well, not I love all of these songs. I actually love all of the performances that I have seen from these. Apparently, the photos of Albania have dropped. I have not looked. I'm not clicking over. I'm running producer. I have my producer hat on right now, so I'm not going to look, but I have all the faith in all of these. And if I want to just say, because so one of the questions being like, who's underestimated? And I just want to say, I think this whole category is being underestimated. So I'm not even going to ask the panel. I think this whole entire category is being underestimated. And I feel like people are forgetting what I'd say a solid 20% at least. 20% of Eurovision viewers are coming to this show for entries like this, I believe. Expecting entries like this, I believe. And there are people who are genuinely saying that they think that, well, they're saying shock non-qualification Albania, which I'm like, because I think, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to give, because this is, I think, how my split's going to be in semifinal one. I'm thinking I'm doing 5 for Claude, and I think I'm going to have to do the rest for Albania, maybe. Like, I might, well, and actually, I got more points than that because I got 4 cards I can,
Oh.
2 cards I'm gonna use and back to back to back. But yeah, Lily, where are you at?
Are we talking about which one's most underrated at this point? Because I think
Well,
it
I'm
would,
just saying,
yeah.
I think all of them are. I mean, and there are some people who are saying, yeah, Poland non-qualification.
I want
Which
universe.
I don't want to live in that world. So let me stop. I cannot live in a world where Poland is not at the grand final.
I mean, I think out of all of these, Latvia is the one I worry about the most because Semi 2 is so competitive. But if it were up to me, Latvia is making that final. I adore that song. I've been wanting Tacha Maitas to come to Eurovision since like 2020. I'm ready. I'm here for it. And I think, like, it's such a gorgeous song. And I run around my house singing it. I feel like a forest fairy. And yeah, like, all of these are great, though.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, Latvia is maybe even my personal favorite of the and their album is great. Like, I've been listening to that just dropped. So that's the one thing I'm really excited about this year. We actually have some artists who are using Eurovision to their advantage. They have albums ready to go. They're dropping them now. They're not waiting
Cosign.
6 months after. Like, that's what you need to do. Like, that's like note number 1 to anybody who's thinking about entering their band or their music into Eurovision next year or into their national final. Are you ready? Do you have more music ready to drop? Because I want to buy your things, but I'm going to forget if you wait 18 months to drop something. So, one, they're amazing. I love that song. I like run around my house like talking about being like a woodland creature. Like, I love them, right? Like, it's that hits so well for me. I do think Albania has the opportunity to do the best out of this group. I want to live in a world where where we're going to Tirana next year. Like, I want that to be reality. I know that that's not necessarily, it's my delusion. I love it, but I think that they are really impressive. I think that Beatrice is so captivating and she really can fill that stage. So I'm excited to see what they do. I think that it's hard not to notice her. I think Latvia, I think I can't wait to see their staging because they have such opportunity to do something really hypnotic. And Poland is so bombastic. It's so big. It's so over the top. She is going to give us so much in a half of a semi that is giving us so much. And I think it's almost, I just think it's still, she's going to be such a standout in the middle of like all of these dudes doing too much, but not at her level, right? Like not with the decades of experience, not with, that stage presence and just can't take your eyes off of her-ness that Justina has. So I don't know. I think they're all underrated. They're in my top 10. This is, a third of my top 10, basically. I want them all to do so well.
Viv, I want to hear from you, but I do just have to highlight this. Justina is flying. We are taking flight. We are going in the air. She is busting out the violin too. I mean, I'm just telling you, if you're going to give me everything in the kitchen sink and the pantry and the bathroom, let us fly on top of it. Okay? Viv, any last thoughts on the ethnic darlings category?
Nothing but maybe the fact that it's too small. It's also one of my favorite categories every single year. And I'm a bit disappointed this year that we're not getting more. I think possibly Albania is going to be the one that does the best out of these three. I agree with every single one of you that Latvia should do super, super well. I saw someone saying that Albania should win and Latvia should finish top 5. I would be fine with that.
Honestly, when we talk about winners this year, I feel like if I have to choose a dark horse, I'd put my money on Albania personally. There's something happening there that I think if the stars align perfectly, we're going to Tirana. Like, it's not my favorite song of the year, but there's just something about it that goes, if something surprises us and shock wins, I'd say it's that one.
I'm with you on that. I think the only thing that's giving people in the realistic category hesitation is juries. I mean, we've just seen them look at categories like this and truly just look the other way. And I find that to be one of the things about Eurovision. And when we talk about jury reform and we talk about the potential, I've always said, I'm a 60-40 split kind of person. But we've taken them out of the semis, which I think is a smart move. And so because of that, I'm like, okay, let's continue to see this 50-50 split play out. But if the juries are going to be sort of allergic to different, I don't think that Eurovision is the place that you need to be jurying. Okay. I just, stay on the panels for the Grammys and all of that stuff that honestly we as consumers don't even really pay much attention to anyway, because it's not always going to be reflective of like what is really current and fresh. So our last category, and I'm saying it's fun, it's party, and not that it's crazy, it's party, because I'm waiting for Katia to trademark that. So we're not going to be caught up in the trademark of it all battles, but we're going to close with it's fun, it's party. And in this category, I have Australia, Estonia, Iceland, and Sweden. So we're not even going to do the really who will do best at Eurovision in the grouping. Can we just go 1, 2, 3? Can we say it together? Sweden. Okay, so we can get we can get that out of the way. But who's your favorite in the group?
Also Sweden.
Come on. All right.
Sweden,
Yep,
however,
Sweden.
Iceland has grown on me dramatically.
Okay. Okay, we've got some Iceland folks, but definitely a lot of Sweden. In the mix, a lot of Sweden. Here's my I'm gonna tell like everyone already knows this for me. Studio cut wise, it's Australia for me.
Yeah.
Studio cut wise, it's Australia for me. And really it's just because I love a little bit of like a MGMT like psychedelic moment. Like I just yeah, like I like and it's something about the way the song even so come and take a sip come like I just instantly am like
I get it. It's my knee-jerk first reaction to that song was hatred, but it's grown on me dramatically as well. I don't hate it as much as I used to anymore, and I do find myself listening to it still.
Okay. Interesting. So Faith says I would put in the it's fun, it's party category Norway. No. Outside from the theme park staging at the national selection that I don't think we're going to have at Eurovision in the rehearsals. Actually, I might say Norway might be my most anticipated photos because I deeply want Kyle in different clothes. So I'm like, once I see the pictures, then I'm like, okay, we're in. I'm just like, once I see the outfit, then I'm like, okay. But if we're still in the armor, then it's like, oh, okay. Like, you're still making it, you're still qualifying, but I deeply wish you were not in armor. But, that's just me.
I was really hoping. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I think from what I saw, he is in the armor. I don't think he's
what?
At least for first rehearsal. It doesn't mean it's what he'll wear, but he has
no.
armor.
It's on trend for this year though. Armor is on trend right now, according to Pinterest.
No. How dare they?
I'm just at this point. I'm just kind of like I was hoping Norway was out of the theme park era, but apparently, no.
Oh well. Okay, Norway. You were this close. Viv, who's your so share your deep love for Sweden this year.
Yeah, which is also completely out of character. My favorites never win in Melodifestivalen, so I'm very often just pretty mad at Sweden. This year they did the right thing. It's the only reason I don't want Sweden to win is that it's Sweden and they've won enough for a while.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm super happy with this song winning. It's a fun song. It's super fun to sing along to. My class is singing it at their summer party. We're doing dances to it and everything. So it's the song I listen to the most, even though it's not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
As for Australia, I am still in the pure 100% hatred group.
Okay.
It's my number out of the list song this year.
Wait, what country again?
Australia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Can we
hate it?
Hold?
Sorry,
I want to go with.
I don't like hating thing, but no.
So I want to highlight this comment. It's not necessarily theme park. Let's not forget Europe's history of wars, kingdoms, knights, Vikings. Baby, let me hold your hand when I say this. The song, we had that with Gotha. Like we had that mystical sort of thing. Like this is kitsch. This is camp. It's okay. Like it's okay. We don't have to be deep in everything. I feel like with Norway's performance this year, I've had the most people doing comments of like, trying to make it like all this deep stuff. It doesn't have to be is what I'm getting at. Like it really doesn't have to be. I think it's a good song. I just don't think that we need, because at some point the add-on stuff becomes distracting. And it pulls away from the fact that Kyle is like a really good performer. Like that could legitimately have like a long lasting career. And I would say like a career that could translate. Dancing, singing, I mean like spirit, like all of that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the armor, this is I statements. I feel that it is distracting from the fact that this is just a really good like pop performer. And I want you to be able to live in that instead of like 15 years from now going, oh my gosh, and then look at me in this outfit. Because spoiler alert, that's what's going to happen. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I was like wearing that.
I've been to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and the staging from MGP was Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I don't know how else to phrase that.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, it's fine. And then someone Trildy says Alessandra copy pasted why wouldn't Kyle? It's Norway's textbook. Because they were telling us that they weren't. I read. They were saying that they weren't. But honestly, this is a first rehearsal. So, like, to be fair, you know, maybe it's like, yeah, we're going to do this. And then, you know, when we start getting the run throughs, it's a whole different outfit, you know. So yeah. So yeah. Okay. Out of the it's fun, it's party, who's being underestimated in the group?
I hope it's
Iceland.
Iceland. I hope.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Like I know I see a lot of expected NQs for it, but it's so infectious. It's so fun. It's going to be such a great kickoff. And I love those two kids. Like, I love them. Like, this little Icelandic Jedward. And I just want to, like, pinch their cheeks and ruffle their hair and, like, make sure their glasses are on straight and, like, have them go scamper off and do mischief because they seem to have so much fun. They seem to really, at least from the pre-parties, from the different things we've seen, they just they love being there. They seem to just really love Eurovision. It seems to like it's really been just a goal for them. I want them to have such a good experience. You know, we all have our issues with Iceland that we've talked about this year and with Songvakeppnin this year. I think they got the best possible result that they could have with Vibe, and I want to see them do well. And I don't know. So for me, I hope we're underestimating them. I hope they can qualify. Fingers crossed. I think I don't know. I hope so.
I
Well,
agree
Viv-
wholeheartedly with that.
Well, hold on, Viv. So I'm saying, so we Americans are saying the theme park thing, and I've been to theme parks in Europe, okay? So, but Viv, I mean, I just feel like he's 15 years from now, I don't think he's going to look back on this performance and be like, I'm so glad I was in armor. Like, that was so innovative and cool of me. Okay.
Absolutely not. I agree
Okay.
completely. I was hoping that the rumors about an outfit change were correct. Apparently now it might seem like they weren't. But still, fingers crossed.
There's
Yeah,
still
'cause, I
time
mean,
for an
as
outfit
you said,
change.
he is so good. He's one of the few artists that he's able to dance and sing at the same time, and it sounds like he's not dancing.
Yep.
Which is well, not everyone does that. I'm not going to say anything else. But yeah, no, I really hope that the armor thing is just, this is what we practiced, so we'll do that at the beginning and then we'll change halfway or something. That would be nice.
Okay. So, I mean, we've had like kind of our conversation. We've broken down the it's fun, it's party of it all. We've got like 2 minutes left. Okay. Oh, I love this comment. America is one big theme park with your president. We didn't vote for him. Oh, do you feel good about that? We didn't vote for him. Have fun with that. Haha. Everybody laugh at America. Like, we're doing it too. I mean, please. And some of us actually work in
There's a
politics.
huge bunch of us out here that's crying for America.
I mean, like, I do have to say, like, a little bit, like, I mean, it's interesting being an American in, like, Eurovision spaces and stuff like that. with this, because like I don't laugh at other countries like when they're going, like when people are going through like actual real awful things. Like I have friends who have family members who are literally fearing for their lives. Do you know that we deported someone who was actually a citizen and they're in a death camp right now?
More than one person.
Not that funny. It's like just not that funny. It is actually kind of scary. So yeah,
I think everything is super scary.
it's
Yeah, no,
it's very
not laughing
scary.
at all.
And I will also say, I think I have told people this, you know, the comparison of first term and now, like early, I was like, oh no, this is scarier. First term was scary, like, but everyone was still shell shocked. How did this happen? And now, so and yeah, and so now. Okay, so wait, hold on. We've got a hot take. So time is up. Says Albania wins the tournament, but doesn't win the televoter jury. Is it realistic? Are we still being delusional? And mind you, it's not like we have first like rehearsals happen, you know, rehearsals that we can tangibly judge. So we're allowed to still be delusional over here. Okay. We are still allowed to hold on to our delusions. We've got one more week of that, I think.
I mean, I would be okay with that delusion coming true.
Yeah, I think we're all like, this is our wish. Like, this is what we're asking for. I do think that this is our winner this year is not going to win televoter jury. I do think that we'll probably see a decent split there and get somebody who's, you know, second, third with each. And it depends on who qualifies, right? I do think if Austria qualifies and wins the jury, I do not think that they can get enough televote to win, regardless of what the jury does. And so that's, you know, if they don't qualify, if we're right on that end, that they don't have enough televote to even qualify, then that can shake that up. But I think we're looking at a, you know, it's realistic for us to see something that doesn't win jury or televote be our overall winner.
Czechia.
Lily, you were gonna hop. Oh yeah, Viv.
Czechia.
Oh yeah, you're hoping for
Yeah.
Czechia with the
I mean,
semblance.
I'm okay with either one,
Yeah.
personally. Like,
Okay.
it's just, I feel like this, like, I just see when we talk about, like, Eurovision fans are fighting
Mhm.
constantly. But what's a song all of us love? Albania.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone hating Albania. So that's why I go, maybe they could do something. Because even, like, the favorites, like, who's number one in the betting odds? It's Sweden and then Austria. I see people who hate both of those songs.
But divisive isn't always a bad thing. We've
Yeah.
seen divisive
True.
win. Toy won divisive. There are still people who are shocked that. Sorry. 2017, Portugal's win, Salvador Sobral.
Deserved.
So yeah, divisive is still a song that I hear out in the world actually quite a bit. Denny asks, what do you think of the new rules of the EBU with no press conference after the semi? Viv, I'm going to ask you what you kind of think of the rule since you've been long in these Eurovision streets and covering as press.
Well, I think it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, there are so many changes this year that I seriously don't see the point in. I'm not against change if the changes make sense and makes things better. But there are so many changes this year that I mean, these artists, this is their chance to actually reach an audience outside of their country. And I'm thinking that their interaction with press, whether it be fan press or like international, national press, that's their chance of showing themselves. So I'm thinking anything that limits that is a bad idea.
Okay. Lily or Brooke, do you have thoughts on the question?
I would agree with that statement completely from Viv. Just to me, it seems like, okay, so who's going to get a press conference? Only the winner? There's achievements other than just being the winner. And it doesn't seem fair to have these people show up, put a huge performance on the stage, commit months of their lives to competing and not getting a chance to say anything.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that. I can, you know, I understand. It's the hard part. I think what Viv is saying, you know, some changes have been necessary. I don't necessarily see that the rule changes have addressed the issues directly, that they seem to be addressing little symptoms, little side things that came up of like, oh, well, that looked bad for us. You know what? They're tired, they're cranky. Let's just not have the press conference anymore. Instead of let's have more, you know, direction with the press of how many questions we're going to ask or who's going to ask. Like, let's be more, you know, thoughtful, instead of people just getting the same, this isn't really a question, I just want you to know I love you or something, you know, make sure that it's substantial. I think just wiping it out seems, you know, there's some real reactionary things that have happened that I don't think lead to a better end product or a better experience overall. So I'm curious, but they don't leave me hopeful for the direction.
It's just another one of those changes that makes me worry about the future of the contest in a weird way. Like, I just feel like after last year, the lessons learned were not necessarily the right lessons to be learned. And that I think it's going to limit people who are willing to compete. So, yeah.
Well, there's going to be a lot of changes happening. We're going to have to drop our delusions. The rehearsals have started, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who is watching. If you haven't already, this is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. I want to thank my wonderful panel of ladies. You know, I'm excited because we'll get to do this next year again and hopefully have some different faces to add to the conversation as well. Thank you to everyone who has watched. And yes, if you aren't already, let's get excited for Eurovision 2025. Bye, y'all.